Good morning, American Jiu-Jitsu. We are back. This is tape number 3 at third degree, and we're still dealing with Moochies. In the first tape, we dealt with high punch, straight punch, low punch, high wedge, low wedge. On the second one, we've dealt with all the front attacks into a Muchi, which is a third degree or Sandan technique. And now we're going to do with the rear attacks into the Muchi on this third tape that will complete the Muchis for third degree. Remember one thing, American Jiu-Jitsu LI. It's our Facebook group page, it's our YouTube page, and it's also our email. Our email is americanjiujitsuli@gmail.com, which you can mail me any questions or ask for any passwords. We also on ajjcenters.com. We have all our passwords for our Zoom virtual training, which we have classes 7 days a week. You need to get your codes and you need to have a password, okay? Like I said, and I want to thank Shihan, Kathy, and Billy. As always, they're here assisting me with these tapes. We practice our social distancing rules by being apart. They are a married couple that live together. I'm a single person who lives by myself. We come here, we meet, we make these videos for you so you have something at home to keep yourself educated, occupied, and busy. Most importantly during these times, you know, if you've been lazy, maybe you were entitled to a little rest, but now the world's gonna start to reopening up and you need to get back on track. No excuses, only reasons. The reason is that we wanna come back stronger, healthier. We're all gonna become back better as better business people, better character people, and I think a little bit cleaner, okay? So today we're gonna work on the rear attacks into Muchi. First technique we're gonna look at is forearm choke, okay, where a person comes down. The rule still stays the same, like if you learned your basic. Anytime, regardless of what technique that we talk about, we're gonna tuck the chin to protect that windpipe from getting choked. If a person grabs you in a forearm choke and you panic like most people do and raise your head, you expose your windpipe to death. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck that chin, pin the hand. By pinning the hand, this is what we call Xing the strain. The person will not be able to pull up. You might not believe that, but when you come down to the dojo, I'll show you that to be a fact. Now we're gonna apply our basic technique and get to the rear of the person, and you'll see that when you step to the rear, you're gonna have that Muchi right in place to be able to submit this person and rip that person's hand out if you choose. We're gonna have a little bit of Temi strike with an elbow strike to the face to make sure that person doesn't use that free hand. Then we're gonna step out to the rear and contain the person with the Muchi. So on the forearm choke, he tucks and presses, gives a little shot to the face, boom, there's the Muchi right there, steps back, and he can just rip that hand right off the body. Now, if you've never experienced a Muchi, I promise you, you know, I sometimes get the biggest of biggest and the strongest of strongs. And I say, you know, let me show you this technique. Now, you might say, when you look at these techniques, I had one guy that was 7'1" that wasn't a believer, and he was by the end of the class. But the point being is that some people, you might say, well, what if they pull the hand away? Okay. Then we'll deliver another type of strike. We are never limited to the techniques that we're showing you. And sometimes when people watch these videos, they're right away into the judgment of them. After 51 years, do you think I have one tool in my toolbox? If this technique don't work, there's about 3,900 other techniques that do. Okay, so this is just a piece to the pie, up to the puzzle. Please don't assume my whole system based on one art or one technique. There are many techniques that if a person tries to resist, we have many, many tools in our toolbox. This is one of them. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about a person grabbing with that buddy approach. We feel confident enough to be able to use a submission because it's that drunken friend who heard you take jiu-jitsu, and now we're gonna step back and do this Muchi to that technique as well. So the person comes here, from here, gives a little pop with his elbow to the belly or body. From here, there's the control, comes out, and has that Muchi. And he can hold the person in submission. Hey, calm yourself down and get yourself straight. He can see the person coming around with that free hand trying to hit him and just rip his arm off his, or he could throw them either back or forward. So again, this is just one option you're seeing on this video. There's many more to back it, and there's many more to reinforce it. And at the same time, he can strike that person right across the face with a beautiful ox jaw and call it a day if that's what's gonna shut it down. All right? So please don't judge. Ask questions when we're live and you're standing in front of me, okay? Next technique is a hammerlock. Now a hammerlock, I always try to reinforce to my students, is nothing more than a cross-wrist grab from the back, right? When a person grabs a hammerlock, when I turn, there it is, a cross-wrist grab right from the back. So now the person's pushing forward. Shihan is going to do a Muchi from a hammerlock. He comes around from here, she pulls back, he goes underneath from here, and there's a Muchi. Now I want you to see that one more time. She's pulling back, So on the first one from the CrossFit square, we did this wave thing because she was pushing forward. Now she's pulling back, so he goes with the pullback and applies this Muchi. She pulls back, he brings it the way she wants to go, and then applies that Muchi. Okay? Beautiful. Now we have a rear overarm bear hug. We're going to use some of that technique that we learned at the lower level with the nerve center, striking, walking out that front door, and applying that Muchi. Overarm, yes, I'm sorry. Yep, stamp on the foot, boom, headbutt from here, come around, and boom. Now you notice with the rear overarm bear hug, it's very similar to the forearm choke. Okay? The main thing is that with a rear overarm bear hug, go back to the rear overarm bear hug, notice how he pins the hands so she can't put him into a forearm choke. See the hands being pinned right there? If he didn't do that, boom, now he has a lethal choke put on him, and he's going to be much more susceptible. So if you notice Shihan Billy, he stamps on the foot, but pins the hands first, headbutts the person, right? And now makes that rear escape because he's covered all his bases. Watch that one more time. Pins the hand, stamp on the foot, headbutt, come around, rip, and Muchi. We're using a Muchi because we feel in control of the technique. At any given time, you can do an elbow strike to the body and rip the person's groin up and hand them their lower part, okay? The wonderful thing about jiu-jitsu is we have options. In life, if you're one way, you're gonna only have a certain amount of people that are gonna be your friends. In life, we have to be like a tree. We have to be bendable. If we stand like a mighty oak and a tree goes by, a wind goes by, the mighty oak falls. But if we're bendable, if we're pliable, if we're applicable, okay, you're gonna have a lot more people that will look to you, especially in today's climate, because you're not just one way. So our system isn't one way, and hopefully your life is not one way, all right? And then the final technique from the rear is the two arms from the back, okay? What's gonna happen here is the person's gonna push. He's gonna create this high-low concept, which you can't be strong in two places at one time. Trust me on that one. I'll be glad to prove that to you when you come to the dojo. So he's gonna take this, reach the hands up, and then step back, and then from here go into this Muchi. So by separating the person's nuance in their brain, it creates a distraction for them in this technique, not the only thing that we can do, and sets the person up perfectly for this Muchi. So watch, he goes high-low from here and here. Perfect. Exactly. Okay? So let's do the other variation because you did the knee down one. So let's go the high-low into the Muchi step.
Okay, right.
All right? From here, step back. From here, beautiful, and rip it. Now, for a second, I want to go back to the one that he showed you because, like I said, it gives you the option. So notice what he did before was he made his escape, put the knee down if he wanted to drop in front, saw another person coming from here and here. Now, this is part of why my system is very specific because it is very easy, including myself, to want to use variations because that's what you might have felt when the person was grabbing you. But I try to stick to the guidelines because I want you to experience things that you might not think about. All right? Things that will open up parts of your brain to say, oh, that's what I'm all about. Not to teach you what you already know, but to show you something that you might not think of. So watch the way we have it on the system one more time. He goes high-low, and now he steps out of the back, and then from here, rip it. So it's not one technique is better than the other. I'm the biggest offender on that, always showing other variations. I have to check my own belt list when I teach it because I want to make sure A is first, B is second, C is third, and D is the next letter. I don't know what the next letter was. That's why I stopped. Anyway, listen, we got to smile. We got to laugh. We got to have fun. We got to enjoy. We come down here, and I thank so much Kathy and Billy, Kathy and Billy for coming down here. We're doing this because we're trying to keep you guys occupied, satisfied, and happy. You know, one of my other black belts said to me, I said it was me and Shion, Kathy and Billy. He says, I'm so jealous. I want to be there. And I think everybody wants to be here, and nobody more so than I. I mean, I'm here right now, but I want to be here with bodies on the mat. We're going to be socially distancing the whole dojo. We already did the lower half. The mats are going to be reorganized so that people will have their own space. We will have all the protective gear, the gloves, the helmet, the shield. We actually have a custom face gear that's being made. So we're going to practice social distancing rules. So when you come back, you're going to feel comfortable coming to the dojo. Our dojo has always been very, very spotless, but even so more now on more of a regular basis. So please watch these videos. Keep yourself educated. Keep yourself busy. American Jiu-Jitsu LI Facebook group, YouTube, Gmail, American Jiu-Jitsu LI, and our website, ajjcenters.com. for all your Zoom code and meetings. Remember, stay healthy, stay safe, stay home, stay busy, stay focused. Get ready for us to reopen up, people. We're coming back soon. And have a great day. Be well, people.